recording on YouTube.
Thanks for starting at 7 instead of 6:30.
Oh, no problem. Yeah,
Hey, Rita.
I thought we had. I thought I changed it when we were doing remotes. So
Yeah, you changed a long time ago.
yeah, I thought so anyway.
Hmm.
Everybody was so used to 6:30 going into ASA.
Nice color shirt there, David.
Oh, thank you. It's like a salmon orange, maybe. I'm not sure.
Oh, something behind it.
Magenta.
Magenta.
Hey,
maybe?
Pete.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, Pete's here. Good. All right, we're at 20 panelists. Got a full house here. Love it.
Full house. Let's see. Where's Becky? There she is.
I'll give it one more minute and we'll get started here.
Just lucky, I guess.
And everyone behave themselves. We're live on YouTube right now, and it's being recorded.
Ed, what is the ruins behind you and Becky?
I'll give you the short answer, then I'm going to cut out my video. I was in a play at Metropolis this past Friday night, and we did it virtually. We did it on Zoom. It's kind of a first. It's really kind of fun to actually try and do a live play as on Zoom. And that was my backdrop. That was one of the scenes I was in.
All right.
A live play on Zoom. Nothing oxymoronic about that.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. Hey, I missed you guys. It's been a long time. And I'm hearing myself
We
back.
missed you too.
Yeah, you're getting an echo.
Somebody's got a mute. We either need a mute or I don't want to hear myself back. I wonder who it is. Did you find him, Bob? And unmute me. I'm the important person. Are we good now? All right. I don't hear you, Bob, so I think you're unmuted. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the iPhone SIG. I'm so glad to see everybody. It's been a long time. I think the last time we met was the iPhone SIG was in June or July, so it's been quite a while. We're kicking things off here with this meeting, and then we got our main meeting coming up on Saturday. So lots of great things. Lots of great things about that. And so my agenda for tonight is I'm actually going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the news here. There was kind of a interesting event that was announced for next week. So of course I'll probably be podcasting as I always do. So and then some of the rumors of what was going on with what the products are going to come out. And I got a nice good panel here, and I'd like to go around and find out what makes you guys tick. I don't ever ask that. I always ask that. I'm doing presentations and I talk about stuff, but I'm going to talk about some stuff. But I'd like to find out what you like to do with your iPhone. I think that'd be kind of a fun thing. We'll keep that brief. And then iOS 14, I'm going to touch upon a little bit, a lot more of it next month, because I'm almost positive it's going to get released at some point next month. And then I got a whole slew of tips I want to go through. I think everybody would really like, and we'll see where our time is. Okay. So let me go ahead, share my screen. I'll share my desktop here. Everybody should see my screen now, right?
Hey, and I can see your cursor there, Dave.
You see it. Okay, great. So that's one thing everybody was complaining. They couldn't see my cursor. So if you see me moving around here, you'll see that when I can highlight something, and you'll see that when it magnifies it. Everybody sees that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Excellent. All right. So the first story I want to talk about was the event that's coming up. Let me get to that group. I thought I had it up here. Let me bring up my notes and click that. There we go. All right, so Apple just announced it today, and I knew something was going to get announced today, whether it was going to be a press release or it was going to be an actual event. And it turned out to be an event. I was actually surprised. I thought for sure they would just give it into a press release because they did quite a production with WWDC earlier this year. So, but this morning they did announce an event that's going to be held on September 15th. Of course, it's going to be virtually, and they usually do an iPhone focused event this week, but this time, but all the rumors are saying, and Bloomberg's Mark Gurman is very solid of his knowledge of what's going on, that they're going to talk about the new Apple Watch, which is going to be Apple Watch Series 6. And it's kind of funny. There was another article, which I'm not showing here, is they actually, someone has lots of time on their hands and they went into the YouTube video that Apple posted on this, and they found the metadata of all the information that's listed of what that actually going to pick up as keywords when someone searches it. And it said it said Series 6, and it had iPad and some other things that they found. So interesting to see where that went. Yes, it is going to be here. This was the time flies here, and this was actually, I actually got an email this morning. I was actually, I guess I'm on Apple's mailing list. They sent it to me. I don't know if they sent it to everybody else, but so it is next Tuesday, a week from today at noon Central Time. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And then they are going to stagger it. From the rumor they were saying was Apple, the iPhone 12 launch was going to be staggered with the models. That's what they're talking about. I'll talk about that in just a second. I have a link on that as well. Anybody have any questions about the event, or what are they excited about? Bob, are you excited about anything?
Why can't it be today?
Yeah, it could have been this morning, and then we could have been talking about
Come
it
on,
right
guys,
now.
you're going to do a remote event. Just do it now.
I think that's you, Bob. That's doing back. Mute yourself. It is you, Bob.
What are you doing?
Hey, Dave.
Yes.
I'm muted. It's not me.
It's Ed.
Okay.
One of the things I'm really interested in is if they're going to change the USB connectors on the new iPads. And I doubt if that's information that's out there yet, but
I don't think
I'm
so.
curious about that.
I don't.
So they have Lightning.
Yeah. Anything you could do, Bob, to find that person who's feeding back at me would be much appreciated. I don't think so. I think the Lightning connector is going to stay with, of course, with the iPhone. But we're also going to, God, I can't. I got to figure this out. It's really confusing. Anybody? We may have to mute everybody. I think I'm going to do that.
I muted everybody.
Can't mute me, guys. I can't talk. So if anybody wants to speak, please unmute your mic, and then you could speak, because we can't figure out who's got that echo problem. I appreciate it. To answer your question, Ed, I think it's going to stay with the Lightning connector on the low end iPads. I would not be at all surprised. It's very possible these new iPads that they potentially announced could go USB-C. There hasn't been a lot of chatter about that. I haven't I haven't seen anything. Have you seen anything, Bob, about the USB-C going into the new iPads? You're muted.
No, nothing that I would say is real.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why you gotta worry a little bit about the there it is again.
That might be.
Is it you, Ed? I think it is you, Ed. Sorry. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I would like to see it go to USB-C and just move over at this point, because I've been so used to it with my iPad Pro. But I'd be all surprised they stick with the Lightning. But they are saying that potentially these new iPads will now be able to use the second generation pencil, which is pretty exciting. So maybe they can start phasing out the first gen, because we all know how we love how to charge that pencil when you have to plug it into the Lightning port for it to work. So if these iPads support the second gen pencil, then I would not be at all surprised they would go to USB-C at that point, because then it doesn't have to, it'd be magnetic instead. So, okay. And second thing, this was, oh yeah, this was the other, this was the metadata thing I was talking about. Everybody can see on my screen here. So someone actually went into the YouTube page and looked to see what things were listed. So this could be saying, because we were wondering which was going to be the low end model, what was going to be the high end model. Looks like maybe the Series 5 might be the low end, and the Series 6, of course, be the new one. And they would probably get rid of the 3, and then who knows? And they could even have a more affordable model too. It's very possible. There had been rumors about that. A lot of discussion about fitness. There's going to be, I think, there's supposed to be some new fitness stuff, and I'd also be interesting to see if any of the bundles get discussed. They may save that until October, because that's the rumor that they're saying they're going to talk about that. So, but yeah, this was all the metadata here, so you can see all the things. There's iPad Air, so they were hard at work. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's go to iOS 13.7. That was just released about 7 days ago. All it really had was, and I was actually all surprised that they released another version of iOS 13, because we're obviously in beta testing for iOS 14. So they put iOS 13.7 in beta for like a week, and then a week later it was released. And really all it has is that built-in COVID-19 exposure notification system, which of course is shut off by default. So don't worry. I know everybody is worried about that. But it is shut off, so you can turn it on or off if you don't want it. But it has notifications that are in here, and that was really what really all that iOS 13.7 had as far as changes go. Here's all the ways of being able to turn on notifications if you so choose. Yeah, it really wasn't much else. I hope everybody updated it, because it does also have bug fixes and such. So you want to have the latest and greatest version. Any questions on that at all from anybody?
I got a question, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Does
Oh,
it,
it's a Frank.
yeah,
Hey, Frank.
I was helping a friend this afternoon get a new phone.
Yeah.
And as you know, Apple sells a new phone with last month's OS. So in
Right.
order to get the pair to work, of course, you had to download 13.7.
Correct.
Well, 13.7 took like an hour.
Wow. Was
An
it
hour.
on their internet
It was
speed is good?
on
Or?
Verizon, or it was on T-Mobile's in a T-Mobile store on their wireless.
Yeah, their Wi-Fi might have been
Their
slow.
Wi-Fi is messed up.
Yeah, because every time I go into a T-Mobile store, their Wi-Fi was never great.
Was it slow? Okay.
Yeah, I bet it
wasn't
was.
Yes,
too
But
good.
you also got to remember, Frank, it's downloading a full version, because the update for 13.7 was very tiny. It was like maybe 300 megabytes, if that. It was really small, and it took like no time.
Oh,
to
okay.
update. But you
Yeah.
got to, you were getting like probably a full out version of 13.7.
13 itself. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was probably I don't know, depending on how old the phone was in stock, it could have had like 13.4, 13.3. It could have had
Right.
one of the old even
Or
before
12.
that. No, I don't think it would have 12. Which phone did he get?
The SE 2020.
Nice. That's a great little phone. I think
It is. I
I've been
mean,
highly recommending it to a
recommending-
lot of people.
I'm recommending it for all my friends that are just phone
too.
people that don't
Yeah.
use it for anything but phone.
No, the pros are extreme. I mean, I'll be the first to admit it, but that's me. I like to have all the great stuff. But us, the photographers here, like Jerry and those, that they love to have the pros because of the 3 lenses. And I'm going to
Yeah.
be demonstrating something very soon here that you'll be really excited about here. So, any more questions before I move on here? All right. This was actually in Mac rumors as well. So they're saying that the 6.1 inch iPhone 12, these are going to be the three sizes they're rumoring to have. You have the 5.4 inch, which looks almost like probably an iPhone 11, and the 11 Pro was a smaller size, and then they're going to have a mid size at 6.1 and a large size at 6.7. The 6.7 models are from what they're rumoring. They're saying that they're going to be the Pro models and there's going to be a regular and a Max, and then the Max will be at the 6.7, and then these higher end ones are supposed to have what's called the LiDAR lens that'll be built in. That's for all the augmented reality, all that kind of stuff. The stuff that isn't even anywhere near ready yet. So you'll be probably paying a little more for getting that stuff, but we'll see how pricing goes. They haven't really said anything yet. They're probably thinking that there's going to be an event in October. So, Apple's making things exciting. We just came off of the 4-to-1 stock split, which is nice, but now the stock's kind of dropping a little bit right now, but that's to be expected, I think, after that happens. So it's not a $2 trillion company anymore. It was 2.5 trillion at one point, but it's lost a lot of market value in the last since the split. So, but we all love Apple, and I think it'll make a recovery. But anyway, this is what they're talking about as far as iPhone 12. So you won't be hearing much about iPhones next week at all. It'll be, which I think is neat. They're kind of mixing it up because we're so used to every year September new iPhones, right? So I got an extra month of not having to spend money and buying a new iPhone. So any questions on that at all?
Well, I have an extra month of having to wait for the iUp program to give me the new phone.
Me too. Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's see what I had left here. There was another rumor here. This is another item that potentially could get released, but I think they're going to hold on to it until the iPhone 12 release. They want to keep the thunder going with the watch and the iPad. They've been talking about this forever. Rumors. It's been called AirTags, and those are I don't know if anybody's familiar with those little square things called Tile.
Yeah.
Those are ones that you can put in your wallet, you put it on your keys, and you can track where they go because they have this tracker that gives you the option to be able to find your device. Well, Apple had been talking about this for a while to get into this market, and they'll probably do what they call Sherlocking some of these companies that have these devices that it might kind of put them out of business. But I'm sure these companies will come up with a new business model. But they're probably going to launch this again right around the time of the iPhone 12 in October. But so we'll have something else to talk about and something else to buy if we so want to. But it definitely seems like it's a real thing now. I think that they're going to actually come up with something here. So, any questions at all on that?
Got just one other kind of question, not iPhone.
Sure.
Are there any rumors about when the new iMacs are going to come out? Because I'm in the market for one right now. My present one's in the shop.
They just came out with new iMacs, actually. The Intel-based ones.
Available?
They're available now.
Oh, okay.
The newest ones, yeah. They just updated the processors on it, and the iMacs are ready to buy. They're Intel-based Macs still.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh yeah, the iMac 2020 is a huge update.
Big update.
Several,
if you're ready to buy one, I would. This is definitely one to buy. And again,
oh, okay. I thought I was.
We're not here to talk about Mac, but yeah, I'm happy to let you know that.
Okay, thank you. Sorry to interrupt with a slightly off topic.
No worries.
Point of question, Dave, please.
Absolutely. Hi, Rob.
In answer to, I just bought the 27-inch MacBook. My wife is home remotely here, so my 2008 iMac, I replaced it with a brand new 27-inch. But I apologize for being off topic here. But in answer to the question, George Vasson does the stuff from Deer Park. So if anybody's interested, contact George Vasson in Deer Park. He will handle our discount, and I think I saved probably $75 or $100 on it.
Awesome.
And you get almost like 10%. You get 6% off on the iMac, about 10% off of Apple Care, and so it's a little bit here and there, but it's a spectacular screen. It's wonderful.
That's good news.
Yeah,
good news. Thanks for sharing that. We appreciate it.
Deer Park will handle our discount though. It's called business discount.
Right. Yeah. No, it's always good that the context change every other day.
Okay.
I think Frank and Jeff can attest to that.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. But does the discount for our group cancel if it's educators' prices and stuff?
Yeah, if you're getting an education discount, yeah, you can't use our discount.
Can't use your, okay, so can't
Can
double
you
dip.
get an educational discount for any of these, the phone or anything, if you're going to be buying it from
Not for the phone.
Not for the phone. Yeah, they rarely ever discount the phone, iPhone.
Yeah, the phone doesn't discount, but the pads and the headphones and everything else do. iMacs, MacBooks.
Okay, thank you.
And you can only pick one discount.
That's
Yeah,
right.
naturally. That's true of all discounts for everything. Almost all, anyway.
That's right. You can't double dip.
Always wish.
And Tom should know as well. I forgot Tom was here as well. Welcome, Tom. It's been a while.
Thank you. Yeah, it's my work schedule. It didn't allow for this. Now I'm working from home.
Yeah.
And I get off at 7, so here I am.
So it's been that they're letting you work at home and as much as you can share, but has it been going well? The people for the store employees being able to do other things?
I'm actually doing online support. So
nice.
I'm doing
If
somebody chats in at Apple, you may get me.
They might get you, huh? All right. And you've been enjoying it so far?
Yeah, it's been great. I love the
nice
commute.
to stay home, right? Yeah, I said you get to stay home and do nothing, right? And do not do nothing. You're working, but you get to stay home and
I love the commute.
not leave. Right. Awesome. So
I don't have to worry about snowstorms.
Nope. We haven't had any of those lately.
Well, Denver just had one.
That's right. Yeah. From 96 to 30 in a matter of 12 hours. All right. So any other comments? Anything else that anybody wants to bring up that they caught their mind in the news that I did not cover? Anything at all? All right. So I wanted to ask a few people here, if you'd like to volunteer. Which iPhone do you have? Which iPhone do you use? And what is your favorite thing to do with your iPhone? And I'm gonna, the first person I'm gonna ask, because I see him on the screen, is Jerry. And Jerry, I know what you use it for because you love photography. Tell everybody which iPhone you have and what. I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but I thought you'd like to share. And what do you enjoy most about your phone? And make sure you unmute your phone, unmute your mic. You're still muted. I can ask him to unmute. No, still muted.
Okay, I have the 11 Pro Max.
Thanks. Okay.
The photography is just incredible.
It is.
And we're selling a condo over in Indiana, and the realtor took the pictures, and I said, "Do you mind if I take the pictures?" She had a camera there and does this all the time. Awesome. And they were terrible pictures. And I took the pictures with the iPhone, and she said, "Oh my gosh." And there's the quality and the ability to edit them right in the phone. And of course, I love to edit on the iPad.
Sure.
And it's just incredible what you can do if you know a little bit about photography and what to do with it and what causes something to be injured in a picture and how to stop that with just a few applications like Snapseed and Touch Retouch. And the built-in ones are okay also. The latest thing that I've been doing, and Jeff knows about this and a few others, I've discovered how to shoot infrared photography.
Nice.
With my iPad 11 Pro Max. Excellent. By attaching an infrared filter, which does color or black and white, and I do it for black and white, onto a protective case from Moment. The Moment lenses, you can do a quarter twist and put lenses on. And so they also have a filter holder. And there are 3 companies around the United States. One is LifePixel, the other is Spencer's in Utah, and the other is Calari out east. And Spencer's makes the size of the, and they have just a little, you screw the filter into this holder and there's no messing around. You don't need Photoshop or anything else, just an iPad. Well, you can do it all with your iPhone, but photography for me has just improved, double improved for me.
Awesome.
With the iPhone, and everything is better.
That is.
Hey, Dave, we have another
all the
question.
built-in things have improved.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Bob. What was the question?
Richard House has a question, so I didn't ask him to unmute.
Okay, go ahead, Richard. Or Rich, you like Rich.
Rich. He's not unmuted yet.
Wasn't me who wanted a question.
Oh. Okay. You had your hand raised.
Okay, sorry about that. I was
All right.
trying
no
to
problem.
adjust some things.
Okay, one more person. As long as you're talking, what kind of iPhone do you have, and what do you like to do with it most? Rich.
I am currently operating with the iPhone 10.
Okay.
And I also use it for a lot of photography, but it's with me all the time and is used 4 or 5 times a day for a variety of things, communication, lookup, and you know what.
Yep. So it's a lot of photography. Like, it seems like photography is going to be a consistent thing. Of course, checking your email, and we barely use it for a phone these days. Or probably a lot of text messages and.
But I found it to be a good machine, but I am interested in a new one probably this time. So
Okay.
I'll be watching closely at what comes out here in a few
Absolutely.
weeks.
It's going to be some exciting stuff. All right. So just wanted to get a little feel of what was out there, and I don't want to take up too much of time with that. But I wanted to show you something that I'm super, I thought was kind of exciting. There's a company out of the UK. It's called Reincubate. It's REINCUBATE. And they're a UK-based company, and they came up with this really cool app. And what this app does is the app is called Camo. And what this app does is it turns your iPhone into a webcam. So you can actually use it for what we're dealing with right now, doing video conferencing. And I wanted to kind of show it to you. So everybody can see this now. You should be able to see my my screen here now, right, everybody?
Right.
This is the app here. So here are all the settings here. And then right now I don't have any devices connected, but let me connect the device here and let me show you how amazing the quality is. Get this here, load this, and sure enough, this is my iPhone 10R that I have right now, and you can see this on the screen. So let me stop sharing for a minute, and I can actually change my camera here. So right now you see me on my camera here. This is my webcam. So I can go into I just clicked away here. Sorry. I can go into my video here. Now I'll have a choice in Zoom here, and Zoom as well as Skype and any other of these types of products to change the camera to now I'm actually looking at my camera here. And let me, I'm going to pin myself here so people can see me. So take a look at the quality of that camera. And this is the front facing camera on the 10R. Okay. So I could go, I can go here and actually switch the camera if I want to. The way I do that is, I have to have a big zoom on me here, but the way I do that is I have to use the Mac to change it. So here is the source of the iPhone. Here's the selfie lens. Now I can switch it to the wide lens here, and now I can flip it over and turn it around. And look at the quality. I mean, this is a webcam, and you're looking at it here. But if you look at it in Zoom, yeah, I mean the camera quality. This is just the 10R. Now wait till I switch it to the 11 Pro Max. Let me switch this back for a moment. doing a quick demo here. So now I'm on my regular camera here. So let's try it on the 11 Pro Max. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna switch to the Reincubate Camo, and I have to switch it. Here we go. 1 second here. I'm gonna turn the map on. Here we go. There we go. So right now it's showing, as you can see my webcam. Let me flip it here. You can switch to the lens here, and I'm gonna go to selfie so you can see my face. So I'm now able to use this as a webcam, because if you're looking at Zoom, you don't see the interface right now. And of course, yeah, my face looks really close here. Wow, jeez. But you could put this on a tripod, put it in a clip, and be able to use this as a webcam. Okay. Well, let me share my screen here again so I can show you what you can do with the interface. So let me share here. I can set this down for the moment so everybody can see me in the app now. Let me put this clip here so I don't have to hold it. All right. So you see me now. You can see the compared to my webcam, the quality is just tremendous. That's the selfie lens. Now I can, if you click this little button here, now the free, there's two versions of this app. There's a free version, and then of course it's limited, and then there's unfortunately there is a paid version, and it's a yearly fee. So this would have to be a type of app if you were to pay for it, you would want it to be for if you're constantly doing a lot of video conferencing and such, that you wanted to use this. But here it has access to all three lenses here. If you see this here, see this? So all three of these lenses are available in the paid version. In the free version, just the wide angle is. So if I want to go ultra wide here, so now you'll see I just flipped the camera here. Look at my mess of wires. You could see now well, that's really wide. So then here's the standard wide, and then of course if I go really close, you don't want to have to. It's really way too close, but you have access to all three lenses. Now you'll also see here you have presets that you can go through here, and change focus position, just shutter speeds. All this other setting is in here. And again, this is free. If you want to have just some of the free settings that are available, it'll be this stuff will be limited, so you probably won't have any access to this. But I thought this was a really cool way of having an alternate way of getting a webcam for those of us who are doing a lot of video conferencing with your Mac. I think this is a great little neat little tool. Anybody interested? Chuck Joyner did an interview with the gentleman who created this app. He's got an interview with this person as well, and that's what caught my eye. And a lot of other people have been talking about it too. So that was pretty cool.
What's the price of the paid version?
The paid version is $39.99, so it's a little pricey.
There are other software packages that do the same thing, and a couple of them are still free. A little more complicated to set up. We use NDI
They're a lot more complicated,
tools.
and that's why I showed this. Because
that's pretty simple. Yeah, I like that.
See, Bob didn't know about this, so I was impressed. He didn't know about this yet, so I was able to show him something he didn't know about. So other stuff, you have post-processing. Like if you want to add a watermark, you can actually put a watermark, and you probably now if you see just my camera, you would see a watermark on it. So if I wanted to watermark my video with something, actually, yeah, I don't know if it shows on here, but it would put a watermark right over here on this side here. So, but yeah, I thought this was cool. Something I wanted to demonstrate, show folks what it's all about, and did anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
The quality is outstanding,
isn't it? I mean, let me go back. Let me stop.
That's how good the cameras are in these devices.
I mean, here I am on Zoom. You're seeing just me right now. Look at the quality of this camera versus this is my standard Logitech webcam. I mean, look how much difference you see in quality. And I probably paid $70 or $80 for this webcam and thinking how great it is, but then you switch back, you switch back to the iPhone. I'm like, holy cow, what an incredible difference in quality. Because and self-Jerry, it proves it to you too how amazing the lenses and the camera is on the iPhone. You had a question, Marcia?
And you said that you're on your 11 Pro now?
11 Pro Max, right. Mm-hmm. And this is using the wide angle lens. I'm pointing at it right here.
Okay.
I flipped the phone around so it's pointing to obviously to me so you can see. Of
And
course, I'm looking at the screen here, so that's why you see me off to the side. So
Okay.
you'd have to position it accordingly, of course.
So the point of this is to have a better quality image when you're doing virtual.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
David,
Yes,
is
sir.
that the selfie side or is that the regular?
This is the regular lens. I'm using the
Okay.
wide angle right now. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I could
And
switch,
so
let me.
this is giving better quality than just using the iPhone as itself for.
No.
Mm-mm. Let me switch back to the selfie so you can see, Jerry. I mean, the selfie lens obviously is not as good a quality as you can see. So
Yeah, it's pretty good.
but it's still good.
It's pretty good.
I put something in the chat about the NDI, Nutex NDI apps, but
Yep.
that's a little
very-
beyond some people. It's a little more work.
A little complicated. That's why I wanted to show this today because
Yeah.
we like easy stuff, right? We
Yeah.
like to
Correct.
have
That's
easy
easy.
stuff.
That's very nicely done. I like.
It's simple interface. You download the app. On your Mac. You download the app on your iPhone. Oh, by the way, this works with the iPad too. So you could use the cameras in the iPad if you wanted to, and set up a webcam using your iPad. If
Well,
you wanna
and
use your
you can
iPhone.
use it as you can use it for a second camera. So you need
Absolutely.
to do a display, a show piece of equipment or something. You know, there's
Yeah.
all kinds of uses for it.
I might
So,
be
yeah,
using
that's
that. I
nice.
might be using that on Saturday if I have to show like going my watch. I don't have to have it,
Yeah,
doing my
kind of hard to show
setup like I
on
always
screen.
do. So
One thing that just wanted to bring something up. One thing you also got to remember by using that program, every time you upgrade your phone, you're upgrading your camera if you use that program.
right. Yep. So all right. Well, I'm going to switch back to my regular camera here for now, just for the see how crazy, isn't it? It even changes the color of my shirt. My shirt looks different, doesn't it? I didn't even notice that.
Possibly.
Yeah, look at that. The color is not even right in it. I gotta check my color settings on my webcam.
You know what? That could actually put Logitech's or all these expensive high-end cameras out of business. But
Yeah,
because when you
pay
think
$39, paying $39 a year, just and maybe you only need it for a year. I mean, who knows? I mean, it's your mileage will vary depending on what you need. So, all right. Let me pop out of here. And let's me go back, share my screen, and let's do some tips. Anybody have any questions so far?
No, pretty good.
I had somebody with some questions, but they left.
They left.
So-
Okay. Well, sorry, they left. All right, let me get my iPhone shared here. Okay. There we go. You can see my phone, right?
Yes.
If I don't click away for a minute, you can. And can everybody see my mouse as I move it over the
Yes.
phone? And you can see that too when I magnify it, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
I love it. I like when things
Dave,
work.
you might want to close that browser window with the advertisements running behind you there.
Yeah, you're right. Well, actually, I might go full screen.
Is this Pro Mouse you're using?
I am.
Got to turn it on, right? Slide the slider.
There we go. Everybody see just my desktop background and my iPhone, right?
Right.
All right, great. So first thing I want to talk about is this is going to be kind of I'm going to be going through lots of tips here. I just thought it'd be fun to just talk about random tips that people you may not know about. Okay. One of the things, as far as people have a little worries about security, and I probably have talked about this before, but it's always worth mentioning it to look at it, is the significant locations settings. So what I do is here, I go into the settings. I'm in settings right now. Then I'm going to go under privacy right here. And I go into location services right here. And then you scroll all the way down here. These are all your apps. And then you go into system services. Scroll all the way down here and see this right here. Significant locations. Right now I have that turned on. So now I unlocked it. So now look, if you go in here right now on your iPhone, you might get scared to see where the places you've been in the last, if you have this turned on, where I've been in the last year. So, you know, it's like, yeah, I was in Vegas in November and I was in Vegas in January. Oh boy. So kind of scary that it knows this, right? So what you can do is if you don't want that to be turned on anymore, you can just tap this and then turn it off. And what it'll do is it'll turn off, but you gotta be aware of this warning that it's gonna have significant location issues and it'll affect like things like the personalized location services like maps, do not disturb while driving, CarPlay, Siri, and photos. So to me, it doesn't bother me that much. I mean, I'm not trying to hide anything. So I know Apple's not spying on me.
Yeah, but that's all stored inside the phone, right?
Or inside the phone, which is encrypted.
Okay.
So I'm making people aware of this so they know that
yeah.
you can do that. So any questions about that?
Where was this thing again?
So go to settings, privacy, location services, all the way down to the bottom, go into system services. And you can go through here as well if there's things like I don't know, I thought I turned these off. Apple ads, I don't want that on. So you can go through some of these other settings in these system services. These are things that generally people don't go in and look at very often. Like if you want to turn off product improvements stuff, you could as well. Again, it's all private. You're not going to have to worry about it.
Good enough.
All right.
Good tip. Thanks, Dave.
No problem. So let's also talk about the keyboard. So if I go in, I'm looking at my notes here. Let's go into a note. I'm gonna go into notes and create a note here. So if what you can do is you actually can hold the space bar down, and you can move your mouse around just by. You see what it's doing right now. I can move the cursor around just by holding down the space bar. It brings up this blank keyboard, and you can move the cursor for wherever you want. So if I want to go in here now, if I click at space, now I can easily move it. You know how it is when we try to do, we take our finger here and we tap it, right, to get to that word or that space. This gives you a lot easier way of getting to those words when you go through this.
And explain how you got there again.
The way I did it was I'm tapping and holding the space bar.
Right.
So as soon as I hold this space bar here, I can now move it around.
With your finger.
Right. And then let's go to another tip here. I'm going to just create a new message. I'm going to just create a you actually can go into a text and you start typing in a message. See. When you hold down the send key, you know how it gives you options up here. Let me do that. You got a recording for you, Bob.
I heard it.
Yep. So you got to type in a message. I'm still getting some feedback. Tap and hold this button here, and here is where it brings up all the different settings. Where if you wanted to change the effects, or you can go up into the screen here if you want to change the screen. If you want to make it gentle, you can pick gentle and then change the screen. So this is just an alternate way of getting access to different menus that are available in messages.
And how did you get there? Again, can you show us the route to do that?
Yeah. Yep, I sure will. So here, if you see this here, I typed in a message here. This button here is what I did was I held that button down. I'm tapping and holding the button down. and that gave me the different effects.
Show an example with emojis that looks better. I think they'll get the gist of it.
Yep. You could swipe this across this way. Here's some of the other effects here. The balloons. The way I'm getting this is by swiping the page here. So you get to see all the samples. What this does. You've probably seen someone send a message like this before, right? So you can kind of preview each one of them. And then when you're ready to send it, when you bring it to that screen, you just tap this arrow button here, and it will send it. So different kinds of effects.
Dave, do both people have to have an iPhone?
Yes. Yes, they do. Okay. Let me go into an app that I actually found here, and I'm gonna. If anybody's ever gotten their iPhone wet, and you worry, of course, you're kind of a little concerned that maybe the iPhone got wet, and what are you going to do? And a lot of times, the water would get into the speaker, right? Well, there's an app that you can download. It's called Sonic, and if you open this app, it's going to actually play a 440 hertz sound that you may hear. I don't know if you hear that. And what it'll do is that sound is so loud to a point where it'll actually extract any water that's gotten into the phone in the speaker. And I saw a demonstration on this on a YouTube video that it did that. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And this is a free app. It's called Sonic. It's called, if you look it up, and it's not Sonic the restaurant, but if you look up Sonic sound, that'll come up, and it's free. And thought that was cool if you ever got into the trouble with you're getting your iPhone wet, because some of us have done that before, right?
I sure could have used that the other day. My iPhone went to the bottom of the harbor in Lake Michigan.
Oh no!
I jumped in and found it.
Is it still good?
It's fine.
Wow, you got lucky.
It's about 15 feet deep.
So how long was it down there for? Like maybe a couple minutes? Or
2 minutes by the time I found it.
All right, good. Well, you must have really did some diving.
Yeah, I had to get back up on the boat and jump in a couple of times.
Oh my God, you must have been freaking.
I was.
Let's
Are there
see.
any gadgets you can attach to a phone, like a lanyard, so that if you drop it, it won't go more than a foot from your wrist or something?
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of cases that have wrist straps and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, you definitely could do that.
Dave, is there some use for that Sonic besides pushing the water out?
Probably not. I mean,
gotta be something else for it.
It's got, it's for sound waves. Yeah, there probably for somebody that may require that. But I mean, I think there was an online version of it too. If you had to do it, I don't recall it, but I remember seeing it. As far as that goes.
Why would you want to? What would be the point of an online version?
What is the point of anything that's online these days?
But I mean, if its point is to push water out, it seemed like you would only want it in a phone app.
Yeah, but you could play it on the phone if you didn't have the app.
This is true. All right, so let me show you something else. Volume boost. Probably sometimes you're listening to a phone, listening to music, or listening to anything, and no matter what you do, the volume just doesn't get as loud as you want it to on your iPhone. There's a setting in the equalization that you can actually turn on and actually set it so it's set so you can hear it a little better. And the way you get to it is if you click settings here and you go into music. You should go scroll down here to music. Let me just search for it. It's always easier to do that way. Go into music. And then you scroll down to the equalization here, right here, which is right now it's off. If you set it to late night in the equalization, it will boost the sound a little louder because of the way that equalization setting is. So I thought it was a pretty cool tip to know that you can do that. All right. And a accessibility tip here, text to speech settings. If you want to do some text to speech settings here, you actually can go in and let's go into that. I'm in settings, and you're going to go to accessibility, and then you go into spoken content. You scroll down. Right here. And you go into speak selection, which is on, I have turned on right now. And what you can do is you actually can go into, let's say you go onto a web page here. Let's go into like is it Yahoo? I can type. I don't want mail. Just do news, doesn't matter what it is. Now, if you notice, I've highlighted some words here. If you ever highlight anything here, let me highlight it further here. Whoop. So I can get this highlight. So tap and hold. Notice one of the choices here is speak. See that? So I've highlighted something within a website, and now if I tap that speak button.
Students who teach classes were on strike Tuesday at the University of Michigan over in-person instruction during the coronavirus pandemic and other issues.
So now you have an option if you ever wanted something to be spoken to you out loud, but with that accessibility feature turned on, gives you the option of being able to listen back to it. I thought that was cool.
That is.
That speak option in the sub menu.
What's that?
So that puts that speak option in the sub menu.
It does. When I went into accessibility and spoken content and speak selection, it has to be turned on. That's this up here. And then you have to go into highlight content. That has to be turned on as well. And here's some underlying, here's other things it can do as well. So right now I had it set for words and sentences. You could just do words or sentences. I also, if you notice, it was underlined when I did it. So then as soon as it starts speaking, it underlines all those words so you can visually see that it's going to speak those words.
Dave, I have a method that I like to do audiobooks, except obviously audiobooks is a specific kind of thing. But I buy books online, ebooks, on my iPad or on my iPhone. I'll highlight an area and let it speak to me. It just tells me the story. It's like an audiobook. It's kind of interesting. Obviously, you got to get used to doing it, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I thought so. So that's pretty cool. I'm sure everybody here watches videos on YouTube once in a while, and that they have the YouTube app, and when you watch it, you probably know as soon as you exit out of the app, unless you're a premium subscriber like I am, it'll play in the background. You'd like for it to play while you go do something else, right? What you have to do is you have to actually open up YouTube in a browser. So let's go ahead and do that. And it's gonna be hard for me because I'm a premium subscriber, as you see at the top there. So I go ahead and, as you see right now, that's us, our live, our Zoom meeting right there is going on. So what you have to do is you have to go in and you click see the two AA's here at the top here. That's these up here at the bar here. What you need to do is you have to click that, tap that, I should say, and then you got to request a desktop site. Okay. So now we have a desktop version of the video. You can play the video like we want to here. And of course, I'm not going to be able to do it because I'm in AirPlay. I forgot about that. Whoops. What'll happen is the video will play, and then if you're probably used to when you exit out of YouTube being able to listen to it, it will allow you to exit out and then you can then go up to, let me exit out of it and it should come up here. Yeah, so see this up here? As soon as you exit out, it brings you into, this is where the YouTube is launched. I can go ahead and play this from here, and then the audio will play without you having to have a premium account in order to listen to YouTube outside of the app.
Sweet tip.
Kind of a hack. This one was kind of interesting. I had a couple fun ones here. Let me actually, I can actually bring it up here on the notes. That's the beauty of your notes syncing, right? Let me bring up my notes here. I added something here I want to show you. This is an actual code. If you see this down here, this identifies how your serial numbers are identified. So let's say you want to buy a used iPhone, and you go buy it, and then you can go in and look up the serial number, and the serial number will either start by the first letter. It will always start by one of these four. Now I know mine says M because I have a new one, and so most of us have an M at the beginning of our serial number. I'm sorry, not serial number, the model ID number. Excuse me. So if you go, let me show you that real quick. So you go into the model ID by going into settings, general, and about, and this is the model number here. So the model number that's listed here is going to be as you see, mine starts with an M, so that means it was brand new based on that grid that I showed you. So let me go back to my notes, and now that if an iPhone was replaced, if it was like a replacement, it would start with an N. If it was like a personalized one, meaning Apple may have personalized it somehow, it would be with a P. And if it was refurbished, it's an F. So that's one way to be able to find out if the phone that you potentially might be buying or the phone that you currently own is identified by one of these four letters. So thought that was interesting. This one was kind of funny, and I wanted to kind of show you. Go to a Google page here. I think we need a little bit of a chuckle here. Go to google.com and type in cha-cha slide. Everybody see that, right? Of course, we know that song, right? It's always a crowd pleaser at every wedding I've ever been to. If you see this little microphone right here, you just tap it. It goes back and forth. And it plays the music. It's not doing it because I don't have it. I don't know if I'm muted. Try it again. Do you hear that? I hear it. I don't know if you can, but it's playing each cha-cha song as you tap it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I Google their way of their interesting ways of doing things on there. I thought it was kind of funny.
Time for some fun. You can play a game. I can tell you a joke.
Look, Google, my Google Hub just is asking for some fun. That's you got to be careful. I got all these things surrounding me, all the sounds. I got to watch what I say. So then the other thing I was going to mention is anybody that is kind of worried about security, if you want to turn off the control center on the home page, because for right now, if I bring up the home page, I've got the control center open. So anybody that picks up your phone will be able to get to that control page and be able to access all these settings. I don't know if you necessarily would want that to happen. Some people may want to turn that off. And the way to do that is you can go into the settings, and then you go into Face ID and passcode, and turn it off. Let me do quick here. Okay. And you go, and then you scroll down and go to Control Center. Now you can turn it off. Okay. And these are all the things that you actually can turn off in the phone. If you don't want access while your phone is off, you can turn it off. Like if you don't want anybody to access your Siri, or all these things are open right now. When you have control center. It doesn't bother me much, but now if I turn this off, now if I go to lock the phone, and then right now I'm swiping from the top, it should turn that off. I don't know why it didn't, but probably because I didn't save that. But
I don't
that
think you
gives
saved it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't save it.
Yeah.
Where'd I go? I went into Face ID. Go back there. Yep. So yeah, I actually saved it. Control center was turned off. I wonder why it didn't work.
Because
it didn't
are
want
you
to.
on the beta?
No,
Okay.
of course not. But trust me, it does work. but you do have access to all these other settings as well if you want to turn off like Today View or a notification center. All this stuff. If you don't want it to, if you don't want it to be allowed to be accessed when locked, you can turn it off. So.
A minute ago, Pam had her hand up, and I put it
Okay.
down. I don't know if she has a question or not. Pam, you're muted. If you have a question.
Hi, Pam.
Hi there. No, that's okay. I just wanted you to repeat the YouTube thing, but I didn't get my hand up soon enough, but I can go back, I think, and figure it out. Is this being recorded? Could I go back and listen?
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's on our YouTube. It's
Okay.
on YouTube.
That'll be convenient. Okay, thanks. I love all these tips too. They're wonderful.
Awesome. Glad to hear. So let me make sure I got everything I was going to get to here so far. All right, we'll move on to, go ahead. Yep.
You were mentioning about the effects on the, when you were typing about the screen effects. That actually does work for people on Android. I actually sent.
Oh, it does?
Yes, it does. I was
Okay.
shocked that it does work.
Okay, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's, I didn't mean to do that. So let's go into an email, and I'm going to actually just create a new email. And so it's okay. It's nothing secret here. So I'm going to type in something here. This is cool. Now, normally if I wanted to highlight something, you of course you tap and hold it until you bring the cursor over when you can do it. So that's highlighting everything, right? So if you notice here, you also have all these icons here that you can add to the message. This is in a new message. So if I wanted to change the format, you tap this 2A here. So now you can actually go in and change the font. So you have all these fonts available to you in Mail. So if you don't like some of the fonts that are in there, you actually can go in here and change it if you so desire. Of course, your bold, your italics, or your strike through or underlines there as well, and sizes can be changed. You can change the color palette if you want, and you can indent. You can create bullet points or numbers. All this formatting is available in that setting right there. And again, let me highlight that was this right here, the AA. And the way I got to that was it's actually always visible here when you're typing, but you want to be able to highlight that. And then of course you could take my tip of moving your cursor over here by tapping the space bar, and then tap and hold when I can do it. Select all here. So now I could change this whole thing here if I wanted to. So here's where you can insert a photo if you want to. You could take a picture. If you want to insert a recent message in there, you can do that. You could scan a document, insert it right into an email. Did you know that? You actually could right from an email message if you wanted to be able to insert scan a document right from within Mail. You just tap this this button, and then you can just scan whatever you want, and it picks it up and scans it, and away you go. So it gives you that option too. So there's a lot of features I always forget about that you could do from within Mail to give you that option, being able to do that. So, and then
It only works in mail and not.
no, it works in anything actually. It works in notes. It works in it work in any text-based app. This should work.
Because I didn't see that little.
Way you get to it is hold on here. You tap anywhere in the message. So if you see right now, I've got this cursor sitting in an empty spot. As soon as you put that in that spot, this menu will come up. You also can scroll over. If there's any other functions, you can bring it over. Like you could even access the markup if you want to draw and add a drawing into this. And of course, it just switched. Sorry.
Are you on a special keyboard?
Nope. Mm-mm.
Just the English? I'm not seeing that.
Let me go in here. Just lost my connection here. Hold on. There we are. No, as far as I know, that's a standard keyboard. So you do it. You definitely have that. You have that available. So.
Speaking of keyboards, on the iPad, since the last update or two, the keyboard, the on-screen keyboard, seems to be floating about an inch or two higher than it used to, and it covers a lot more of the message that you're trying to respond to in some way. Has everyone else seen this, or is it just on my iPad? On the phone, it sits near the bottom where it used to, but now it really floats practically. It feels like it's almost in the middle of the screen.
Let's take a look.
That's the iPad.
Right. I'm putting an iPad right next to it. How about that, huh? So when you're composing a message,
for example,
talking about like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the keyboard's higher than you were not liking it that high.
My keyboard has a whole inch showing underneath it. The keyboard, the on-screen keyboard is now in the middle of the iPad instead of down at the bottom. And that's been true for a couple of the last update or two.
You also can switch to floating,
Maybe I've switched to floating without realizing it. How do I do that?
Yeah.
How do I upload?
See, I always forget how to get out of this once I put it in here.
Oh no, it's not floating like that. It's
right. I just put it in floating.
At the bottom of the screen.
I always forget how to get it out of floating. Do you remember, Bob?
No.
I forgot how to get that out of there.
It isn't the escape key, is it?
There is no escape key.
I was being sarcastic. Sorry.
I know.
Drag it.
So that
is it dragged by the handle? Drag it. No, that isn't it.
Oh, I gotta get back into the.
You hit the international symbol for the keyboards, and then there's the option at the bottom to move the keyboard left or right, or.
Can you drag that floating keyboard off the bottom?
There it is. Maybe you can. That was it. Thank you.
You drug it. You dragged it.
Right, because what I did was I tapped this and went to there. I'll go. See, we all learned something today here. So here I can drag the keyboard wherever I want, but then drag it all the way down to the bottom. Then it brings.
You got to drag it down the bottom. Yeah.
Having a brain cramp. See, we learn things from each other, right?
Yeah. But I've never seen a keyboard halfway up.
Yeah.
I would try a power cycle real quick, but it's like, that's weird.
Yep. It's a little below the halfway mark, but there's
something's not right.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Have you power cycled it?
Not recently. I recently updated it, but I think it was the previous update that I started noticing it.
Yeah, it's not something I.
So that's a restart.
Yeah.
I found this to be interesting. I know not too many people probably would want to do this, but I thought that's what tips are for here. The ability to being able to use your Mac to screenshot and record video from your Apple TV. And this was an article actually in macsales.com, which a lot of us follow that in their blog for Rocket Yard. And the way you can do this is you actually can go and capture video playing on your Apple TV by turning it on, going to settings, go to network, make sure you're on the same Wi-Fi. Then you go into QuickTime, create a new movie recording. Then you can pick the Apple TV actually from the menu as a choice. And then, of course, allow the screen sharing, and voila, your Apple TV is on your Mac. Like if I wanted to do a demonstration, which I didn't set up for that, but you are able to do that. And I did not know you could do that before. So if anybody's trying to do a demonstration of your Apple TV, or maybe you want to do a screenshot of something and you're helping somebody, and you can screenshot whatever's in the Apple TV, you could do that as well.
That's cool. Didn't know.
So that's an app, Rocket Yard, to do that.
No, Rocket Yard is just a blog by OWC, macsales.com. That's just the name of their
Just
blog.
a blog post. Yeah.
Yeah. This was a blog post by them.
Want to share that link on the community with Dave? I appreciate that.
Yeah, I will.
To do it.
What's that?
No app needed to do it.
No, you just use QuickTime. Yeah.
Which
did
is
you know? Did you know that, Jeff?
Yes, I did. I saw this on Rocket Yard just the other day, and I tested.
Okay, good. See, good. So, I mean, like I said, I don't think a lot of people here would probably want to do that too often, but
I've got a couple places where I want to do it, so that's good. Yeah, I didn't know you
Super.
could do it with the Apple TV.
Yep. All right, so I'm gonna show a couple apps, and then we'll use the last 15 minutes or so to just open up for Q&A, and anybody else has any other questions. There was one app that I talked, two apps actually. This first one here is made actually by the same company that makes the camo, and it's the name of it is called Lookup. Just gonna remember. Let's see. Bring it up here real quick. Give me a minute here. Let me just bring this up for you. And this app is called Reincubate. Is the same company that that makes Camo that I showed you earlier, and it's called Lookup. And what this is an Apple serial number lookup and IMEI checker, meaning that's the code, the number that is on your phone that's identified by your iPhone that identifies the number. So this is the app, and what it does is it allows you to be able to look up by serial number or IMEI, and it'll tell you about the device. So here is a device here that I looked up. This is an iPhone XS Max. So what I did was I put the serial number in, and it actually tells you what the phone is, what the color was, what the storage was, when it was made, and gives you the potential information about the Apple Care status. Tells you what was the original iOS that shipped on it. I mean, there's a lot of deep value here, and even tells you the potential value. So the XS Max, which is 2 years old, still worth $385. So that was kind of cool. And then just goes through different model numbers and hardware information. So it goes pretty deep in trying to find this. And this app is absolutely free. It's called Reincubate Lookup. Is the name of it. Same company that makes the camo I showed you earlier. Okay. And the other app I wanted to show, find it. Subtract. It's called Subtract. And what this does is allows you, and this kind of shows a demo here, and what tracking all your subscriptions that you subscribe to. So in this case, I've got my Apple Music, which I pay $99 a year for music, and Disney Plus, I went ahead and paid $69 for the full year. So you can keep adding more subscriptions. So like, let's say I want to add Netflix. It already has it in there. And you could say how much you pay a month. I'm going to say $9.99. Save. So now it starts adding up how much you pay per week, per month, and per year right within the app. So if you have a lot of subscriptions, it's going to really open your eyes to see how much money you spend in a year on all these subscriptions that you use all the time. And all you have to do is tap the plus here. And of course, they have a pro version, so you can have unlimited subscriptions and all that stuff. It looks like they only allow 3 subscriptions in the free version, but it's $2.99 if you want to really go down and track unlimited subscriptions. You can export the data and do all kinds of other stuff, and you're helping the app developer too. That's a pretty fair price, honestly.
I'm really shocked, Dave.
What's
I'm
that?
shocked that I did not find that before you.
I just stumped you. I stumped the tech miser. Yeah, it's a great app, and I actually talked about this on my podcast too. I found this. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I know you might even want to spend the $2.99 on it, George. Oh,
I'm definitely spending the $2.99.
You what?
I'm definitely spending the $2.99.
All right, good. Okay, so with the last few minutes, 15 minutes or so we have left, I'm going to open it up to Q&A.
I'm sorry, what
any
was that
other
app?
questions? What's that?
What was that last app name?
It's called
Subtrack.
Subtrack.
Well, remember, all of the apps that he talks about, he's going to put the links to them in the community afterwards.
If I remember. Oh, of course I'll do it.
Right.
That's it right there. Subtrack. You see that magnified, right?
Yeah.
All right. I have my iPhone on here. You guys just shoot me with questions. You got anything that's been stumping you on your iPhone? Maybe you have a question about your iPad, your Apple Watch.
Can you record a Zoom meeting?
Can I record a Zoom meeting?
Somebody else's Zoom meeting, you mean?
Somebody else's or yours?
Right, somebody else's Zoom meeting.
They would have to give you rights to do it. I've joined plenty of meetings where I cannot record meetings because they don't allow it. So they have to allow attendees, or however you attend the meeting, to allow you to be able to record it.
Thank you.
Dave, going back to the question of my floating, my keyboard being too high, I've taken a screenshot and I'm going to email it to you. So maybe you can figure out how. You can see that it's not sitting down at the bottom. Oh, what email address should I send it to? President?
Yeah, you know how to get a hold of me.
Okay.
Yeah, just said.
Okay, we won't take this time then.
No problem. More questions. iPad, iPhone, Apple Watch.
I have a iOS, tvOS question. I'm actually using the AirPlay from my Mac and sharing the screen to my Apple TV. And I noticed that, and I've tried it wired and I tried it wireless, that when I'm playing a video, that the lip sync is off. Any suggestions on how to get that as close as possible?
Yeah, that is that your Apple TV that's got the lip sync issue?
Yeah, because when you actually did, and I've tried it where it's a separate display. I tried it when it's mirroring, and both way. And I tried it when the computer is actually on Ethernet, and I tried it when the computer is wireless. And but everything I've thought to try, it still is not in sync. The audio.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, okay.
I have not seen that on an Apple TV. Is not synced. Is this a like a 4K or a 4th gen?
It is the 4K.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I have not seen it. You've stumped me.
Hey, George, this is Ed.
There you go. He's an Apple TV expert.
Well, anytime you start routing video and audio around together, what often happens is the video takes a lot longer to signal process, and so the audio will lead it. You'll hear the words before you see the lip sync, and that's been a problem in professional video forever. I think it's just the stuff is synced at some point in the system, and if you start bouncing it around through your own local stuff, the video processing probably kicks in, and it will take longer for the video to get there. It'll let the audio go straight through, and you'll be out of sync.
Yep.
Okay, so you say it's a problem that that just can't be resolved at this point.
I have seen some stuff, and I can't take you there, but I think there are some controls possibly deep in Apple TV OS where you can move synchronization a little bit, but I don't think I could find them.
Okay. Well, at least you gave me somewhere to look.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
One thing I was supposed to talk about tonight, and I completely forgot, is I want to touch upon a little bit, is iOS 14, a little more of a sneak preview. Beta 7 is the current version that's right now out, this is this here is what's called the app library. Everybody sees this on my screen here, and what Apple's doing is they're actually organizing them by types of apps, and they actually improved the naming of these groups. So if you see here, there's suggestions, and recently add is always going to be there. But you see right here that they've already broken this down to, like, here's utilities and here's social. So it broke down all the social media, including my phone, and creativity. There you go. It breaks it down there. Information and reading. So they really, because originally when the first betas came out, they were doing a very good job of identifying these types of apps. If you notice down here, here's shopping and food. Because what I did with this iPhone, this is my beta iPhone, is I just downloaded a bunch of apps, so I could kind of see what things are, how it would classify it. So it did a very good job of it. And this is the view of the app library, and the way you get to it is by, these are your main screens, and there's the widgets. You go all the way to the right, and you actually can turn off pages too if you wanted to, but this is a really cool way of giving you options here to be able to look for apps, and it's going to be so much easier to find apps too if you jump down here now in alphabetic order of all your apps now. So if you scroll through this, now here are all your apps in alphabetic order to get to them very easily through the app library, and of course you could search for it as well. Bob, did you have anything that stood out to you?
I love the app library. I use that a lot. I have a single page, and then most of the apps on a single page, and on a second page, I have a couple of widgets on there. So it's one swipe away. I try and keep it down. Right. Really, that's really handy. There's so many things.
Yeah, the other thing that actually they did release, if you're noticing the wallpaper I have on here, there's 6 colors. Apple really is bringing back the 6 colors for the pride of Apple. Yeah. So they added some new wallpapers. Of course, everybody has to notice silly things like that, but you'll see here, here's some new wallpaper shades here that they've come up with as far as different choices. So kind of irrelevant in the fact of you want it to be a functional OS, but it's fun to make things look pretty.
Well, personalization is so important.
It is. So and of course all the other wallpapers that are already been in here. So
I've been playing with a new weather app that's a little weird, but it's kind of fun if you want to look at it. It's called Overdrop. Have you seen that one?
No, I have not.
Okay, you have to, for the weather geeks, it's got a different way of displaying the motion maps and stuff. It's not free, I don't think so. It's Overdrop.
Please bring it up in the App Store here.
In the new app library, how much rearranging can you do of the way Apple does it?
The app library is fixed pretty much.
Yeah,
but you don't. You see, the thing is, it's the junk drawer. That's the way I look at it. So it's still fully searchable and accessible, but just don't worry about it.
Yeah. That's what it is. It's, I'm still trying to remember how to turn off page. I thought it was you tap that, wasn't it?
I already have my apps organized in folders anyway. I wonder.
You can, that's fine. It'll leave it alone. You can keep it that way. It'll leave it alone. This is just another way of doing it. You can surely leave your folders the way you like them. And then this app library is just a suggested way of Apple thinks that you might like. But this alone, I think, is worth it all the weight in gold, being able to scroll down and then being able to get an alphabetical listing of all your apps, because it's so hard to find apps half the time.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave.
And I think it's good that they will categorize them, I guess, by the category that the developer gives it, because sometimes I've tried to, find apps that way, and it's like there wasn't a good way to do that.
But don't worry, next month I'm going to be doing a pretty comprehensive SIG on iOS 14. And
Oh,
maybe
Dave,
Bob-
I know the other one that it's real. Have you the battery gauges? Do you have the battery gauges on all the way to the right? No, go to the home screen and swipe. Yeah, you were there. Swipe over, and do you have add battery gauges to that? There,
Oh, here
there
it
it
is.
is. I love the new battery gauges. Right there's the 191%. And when your AirPods are connected and everything, it shows them all. It's just one of my favorite widgets.
And you can always move it too.
And you can move it. You can put it anywhere you
You actually
want.
can put it. Yeah, that's the other thing that you can do in iOS 14. Is you
Yeah.
can put a widget within a page.
I've got 2 or 3 of them on my second page. It's just I keep a note that I'm working on a lot. When I'm working on a note, I'll keep that as a single note is a widget.
Yeah.
I haven't done much with. Let's see, a couple new things in the camera. Haven't done much with that.
We'll save the thunder to next month.
Yeah, next month.
Yeah, because I haven't been playing with as much as I should, and I got some homework to do.
Hey, Dave, I put a link in the chat to an article about the audio syncing.
Oh, for Apple TV? Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Make sure you go see that, George, in the chat.
Yeah, and hey, Tom, could you throw that on the community too, if you have a moment? Appreciate it.
Sure.
Yeah, you're in the community, right, Tom? You've joined the community, Tom? The community page?
Okay. Yes, I have. Sorry,
Okay,
I muted myself.
Perfect. All right. So with the remaining moments left, we can open it up for maybe one or two more questions.
Bob, I have a question of Bob.
Yes.
All right.
Bob, you mentioned in the community, a month or two ago, about that when you clear off your apps, you've been using something and then you just swipe up and clean everything off, that uses up more time or memory on your.
So there's a habit that people get into, and Apple's tried to stop this. So you see people they force quit an app. So I don't know if Dave wants to show force quitting an app. Dave, can you do one that's running?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay.
Let me
Let me explain what that does real quick. So since he's got it up.
Yeah, when you
so
swipe
slide up so to show the running apps, and
like that.
Yeah, and so just swipe up and get rid of subtract. Now stop. Don't do it. Quit it. You're hurting yourself. You're causing pain to your battery. So what that actually does is it actually hurts the performance of your phone because when an app is running in its space, it is not affecting the performance of your device at all. Okay, it doesn't affect it at all. Now, when you bring it back up again, then it brings it into the forefront. If you've swiped it off, if you've turned it off by doing that, then it has to completely reload and reinitialize itself, and it actually causes you more battery use than if you just leave it alone. It's actually harder on your battery.
What about memory use of on the phone though?
No, zero issue.
Doesn't mean it.
Zero issue. There's nothing there. Don't worry about it. Not a problem.
If you're having trouble with the app, say like I watch, Periscope videos or whatever, and sometimes it'll start acting wonky, and usually if you go out and wipe it off the screen and reload it, then
what you're doing is you're force quit. It's like on the Mac, it's force quit. That's what you're doing, but it's not something you need to be in a habit of doing. It does not affect the performance. Having the apps in there does not affect the performance. Say that twice.
I think,
and it's just, I don't get it.
And it
I think people are OCD. I think it's really what it is. They don't like all those apps open.
Well, I
They're
think
not.
it's from in the past. Didn't it used to affect that?
Nope, never has.
Never.
That's the
It's been a myth.
no, not the way this operating system is designed.
It's a myth.
So that's been a myth.
It is a myth.
It comes from when people are used to using a computer, and if you open up so many apps, you run into problems, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
A Windows computer.
Right.
Sometimes
I got a question
Macs.
about apps.
Macs
Is there a way to alphabetize apps?
There will be in iOS 14.
Well,
like
I don't
this.
mean the library, or that library list, but is there a way other than one at a time? When you have 5 pages of apps, there's no way to make it go from A to Z.
Nope, you got to do it yourself.
So even in 14, they didn't add that.
Nope. Just this is where they added it. This feature.
Well, there is one way to do it, and if you do a reset, it'll make the apps in alphabetical order, but it'll take them out of all the folders you've made.
You lose your folders, right?
Not a
All right, folks.
Okay.
We are at 8:30 here. One last question before we wrap up here.
General question about podcasts. One of the podcasts I was used to listening to is no longer available through the podcast app that's built in. And they said it was because the person who does their podcast is no longer capable of putting their podcast in the system that podcast requires. I can get it through Acast or other podcast apps, but it's not playable anymore on the regular podcast app. And I'm wondering, can you tell us something generally about podcasts? I mean, I thought that was standard.
It is standard normally, but it depends on the podcaster. If the podcaster chose not to publish their
No,
content,
they want to publish it on podcast. It's been been available from iTunes for a very long time, but they said that their producer no longer supports that particular version. And I thought it was so standard that they couldn't not support it. So I'm puzzled about
it's it all depends on the publisher. If the publisher decides to pull the content from Apple Podcasts, it's not going to appear in there.
No, they said they want to keep it on Apple Podcasts. They'd have to change producers to do so.
Yeah, I'm not sure why
That's
that
the
would happen.
producer's problem. That's not
producer,
that's nothing to do with Apple.
No,
Nothing
but
to do with
I'm
Apple.
curious if you could tell me something about standards and so forth. Why a podcast cannot be played with the podcast app?
All depends on how they put their podcast up in the iTunes store.
So as far as I know, the podcast app will not play podcasts that are not in Apple's directory, right, Dave?
Yeah. What's the name of the podcast?
Smarty Pants. It's put out by not the AAAS. The scientists. One of the organizations. Anyway, it's called Smarty Pants, and it's interesting.
Is this it, the American Scholar?
Yeah, that's the one.
No, it still shows to be in Apple Podcasts.
It won't
Is this
load.
it?
And there was a remark on the page saying they couldn't do it anymore.
No,
Well,
it's still. This is the
September
Apple
3rd.
Podcast. This is September 3rd's last podcast here, so I'm not sure what the deal is.
Huh. All right, I'll
This
try
is-
again.
This is the actual every podcast that's listed in Apple Podcasts is the page that they have it. My podcast is going to be the same way. Any podcast, as long as they're listing properly in iTunes and they're following the rules and with Apple Podcasts, no, they should never lose it.
Huh.
Sure
All
looks
right,
like it's there.
Maybe
Yeah,
they got it
it's-
fixed from because there was a whole month when they weren't uploading, and there was something on their own page that said that they couldn't do it. But I'll try again.
Yeah, if you look, all the all of last
Yeah,
month, August,
they're
back to
consistent, yeah.
July, it's all
Yeah,
there.
I can see they're all there.
This is
Okay.
the Apple Podcast. This is the page that Apple Podcasts drives from.
Yep.
The Apple Podcasts app.
Okay.
So, all right,
Okay,
folks,
thanks.
we are out of time. Go ahead, Jeff.
Want to remind everybody about the main
yes.
meeting.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. I forgot all about that. Thank you. Go ahead.
Main meeting on Saturday, so everybody come and attend. And then next week, Wednesday, 7:00, the photography SIG. And we're going to be talking about DSLRs and mirrorless cameras. So everybody stop
good.
on.
Great.
I hope everybody enjoyed the session tonight, and I'm glad everybody was able to make it. And missed you guys, and I always miss doing all this stuff. We're going to be back in the saddle here every other week, main meetings, and then we'll have the iPhone SIG again in October. Yeah, we're gonna have lots to talk about for the next few months, I think. So we got some good things planned for the main meeting as well. Lots of great content is coming. So and we really appreciate your support, and maybe one of these days we'll be able to see each other in person. I just don't see it's going to probably be happening this year at all at the rate things are going. So, but I think this is working out great, and everybody's enjoying what we're providing, and you'll definitely get you're getting a lot more content out of us actually for twice a month instead of just once a month for the main meeting. So, all right, folks.
Thanks everyone for being here.
Thanks everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Kudos
Bye.
to everybody.